Hi everyone, welcome to Easy Economics. In this video, we'll be studying about what are the different types of exchange rate systems and how do they function, which forms part of Unit 5 BOP and foreign exchange. After understanding what is an exchange rate system, one question that arises is how is the exchange rate determined? How is that we can say that $1 is equal to rupees 50 or any other value? Let us understand this. Basically, there exist three different methods in which an exchange rate can be determined. These are fixed exchange rate system, flexible exchange rate system, and managed floating exchange rate system. Let us consider them one by one. Fixed exchange rate system is the one in which the value of the home currency in terms of the foreign currency is determined or fixed up by the government or the central bank. Although it is not the choice of the government to decide it, it is based on a certain mechanism. Under this mechanism, the prices of the exchange rate do not change on a regular basis but after a certain period of time as per the requirements. In this, the mechanism followed is the parity between the gold values in different countries. The value of gold in different countries become the exchange rate of different currencies. Let us understand this concept with an example. Suppose $1 in United States will fetch you 5 ounces of gold. For your information, 1 ounce is equal to approximately 28 grams. On the other hand, in India, 1 rupee will fetch you about 0.1 ounces of gold. Now let us compare these two countries and determine the exchange rate. From the above parity between the gold prices in United States and India, we get that $1 is equal to 5 divided by 0.1, which comes out to be rupees 50. Thus, $1 will fetch you rupees 50 as per this method. This method of exchange rate determination was developed by IMF in the year 1946 and this was abandoned in the year 1971. Next is the flexible exchange rate system. This system is also known as the market determined rate of exchange or the flexible rate of exchange. This system is called so because it is based on the forces of demand and supply. The automatic forces of demand and supply determine what will be the exchange rate in the foreign exchange market. It must be noted that the demand of a currency by an export-oriented country, just like China, is generally greater than an import-oriented country, that is India. Why would we need foreign exchange? Now let us consider some of the sources of demand of foreign exchange. First is import of goods and services. As we are living in India, to import goods and services from rest of the world, we have to make payment in the currency of the country from which we are importing our goods. Thus, we need the currency of that country in order to make the payments for our imports. Second, Indian tourists going abroad. Indian tourists who go abroad need to have foreign exchange with them to meet their expenditures abroad, as no country will be accepting Indian rupees from them. Remittances made abroad. There may be companies which are operating in India but want to invest in USA. For that they need US dollars for making such an investment. Also, there are foreign workers who earn their income in India to send money back to their families. They also need foreign exchange. Repayment of interest and loan. When we have to pay interest and repay the loans to foreign lenders such as WHO, United States, we need foreign exchange as they won't again will be accepting payment in Indian rupees. That is, we need US dollars to make such payments. From where will be getting this foreign exchange? Now let us consider some of the supply sources of foreign exchange. Export of goods and services. Whenever the foreigners purchase goods and services from India, they make payment in foreign exchange. This increases the supply of foreign exchange in India. Foreign tourists visiting India. Whenever the foreign tourists visit India, they get their home currency converted into Indian currency. This is how the supply of foreign exchange in India increases. Remittances by Indian working abroad. Indians who are working in abroad send back their savings for their families in India, leading to increase in the supply of foreign exchange in India. Foreign direct investments by multinational companies. Investments by an MNC results in the flow of foreign exchange to India. This one is the most important resource for increasing the supply of foreign exchange in India. We know that under the flexible exchange rate mechanism, the demand and supply forces undertake the determination of foreign exchange in India. But how does this happen? The exchange rate is determined at the point where the demand for foreign exchange equals the supply of foreign exchange. Now let us understand this graphically. Consider this graph in which we have shown the quantity of demand and supply of foreign exchange on the x-axis and price of the foreign exchange on the y-axis. Demand curve of the foreign exchange is a downward sloping curve sloping downwards from left to right. This curve shows an inverse relationship between the price of the foreign exchange and the demand for the foreign exchange. That is, as and when the price of foreign exchange increases, the demand for foreign exchange falls. Now, there is a supply curve of foreign exchange rising upward from left to right. It shows a positive relationship between the price of foreign exchange and quantity demanded of foreign exchange. That is, whenever the price of foreign exchange will increase, the quantity demanded of the foreign exchange will also rise. Now, the equilibrium point of foreign exchange is determined where the demand and supply curves interact, that is at point E. At this point, OP is the equilibrium price of foreign exchange and OQ is the equilibrium quantity of foreign exchange. Now let us consider different cases where the foreign exchange price will change. Suppose there is reduction in supply of foreign exchange. This will lead to a leftward shift in the supply curve shown by a dotted line, SS dash. This will result into a new equilibrium E dash, raising the price of foreign exchange upwards. Now suppose when the supply of the foreign exchange increases, it leads to a rightward shift in the supply curve and the new supply curve is SS dash. It will lead to a new equilibrium E dash, reducing the foreign exchange price. Now let us consider the changes from the demand side. Suppose there is an increase in the demand, it will lead to a rightward shift in the demand curve. A new equilibrium E dash will be formed, thus raising the price of the foreign exchange. Lastly, let us consider that the demand of the foreign currency falls. It will lead to a new equilibrium E dash, thereby reducing the price of the foreign exchange downwards. The last type of foreign exchange rate is the managed floating rate system. This mechanism is a mixture of the fixed and the floating exchange rate systems. This method is also known as dirty floating. The reason behind this is that under this system normally the floating exchange rate is allowed to prevail, but in certain circumstances the central bank or the government intervenes to control when the prices are too high or too low. That is why it is called managed floating exchange rate. It is managed by the central bank of a country. Some important topics pertaining to foreign exchange are appreciation, depreciation and devaluation of home currency. Now let us see what are these. Appreciation of home currency. Imagine that $1 is equal to rupees 50. That means for having $1 an Indian has to pay rupees 50. Now suppose the new rate is $1 is equal to rupees 40. Now we have to pay less to obtain $1. That means the value of Indian currency has increased in terms of US dollar. This means that there is an appreciation of the Indian currency. Similarly, depreciation of home currency. Suppose $1 fetches you rupees 50 and the new rate is that $1 gives you rupees 60. That means an Indian has to pay more to obtain $1. This means the value of Indian currency in terms of US dollar has declined. Therefore, we need to pay more to get $1. The concept of devaluation of home currency is similar to depreciation of home currency. It is just that devaluation is the concept under fixed exchange rate system and depreciation is the concept under flexible exchange rate system. For more videos, please follow